Our 10th anniversary was supposed to be perfect. I had a surprise reservation, a handwritten letter, and a ring to renew our vows. Instead, I walked into our kitchen and found my wife kissing my best friend. Champagne still chilled in the fridge. Our wedding photos smiling down on them. And that was just the beginning. Our 10th anniversary was supposed to be perfect. I had been planning it for months quietly, carefully, making sure every detail was locked down. I booked a reservation at the winery where we had our first getaway together, even pulled strings with a friend to have a private table set near the vineyard right as the sun would dip below the hills. I wrote her a letter by hand, not typed, something real and raw about the 10 years we survived together. The late nights, the early mornings, the miscarriages, the time her mom passed away, the time I lost my job. The fights we thought would break us. The nights we stayed up until 3 a.m. talking about dreams we were too tired to chase. And I bought a ring, something simple, but meaningful. Not a replacement, not a reset. A vow renewal. A reminder that even after 10 years, even after life tried to wear us down, I still chose her. Every time. I got off work early that day. My boss let me leave without a fight, probably because I wouldn't shut up about how excited I was. I stopped by the bakery on 5th Street to pick up the small lemon cake she loved, the one they only make in summer. I even brought flowers, real ones, not from the gas station. Peonies, her favorite. The house was quiet when I pulled into the driveway. Our golden retriever, Sammy, didn't bark. That was strange. He always barked. I stepped inside, holding the cake and the flowers, trying not to drop anything. The lights were dim. Music was playing. Jazz. The kind she listens to when she's in a good mood. I smiled. Maybe she was already getting ready. Maybe she had a surprise of her own. And then I walked into the kitchen. That moment, it's burned into me like a scar under my ribs. Like my body remembers it even if I try to forget. She was standing there. And so was he. My best friend, Evan. His hand was on her lower back. Her hands were in his hair. They didn't see me right away. They were too lost in each other. Too comfortable. Too practiced. And in that 1 second, everything slowed. The sound of my heartbeat was louder than the music. The cake tilted in my hand. I didn't drop it, I wish I had, it would made some noise, shattered the moment. But no, I just stood there, frozen, watching the two people I trusted most kiss like I didn't exist. When they finally noticed me, it was like a record scratched. She gasped. He stepped back. His face went pale. Mine probably did too. No one said anything. Not right away. No one moved. I set the cake down on the counter. The flowers too. My hands were shaking. I didn't want to yell. I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to beg. I just wanted the truth. How long, I asked. My voice cracked. Not with anger, but with something worse, realization. She looked at me like she didn't know what to say. Like she was trying to calculate which version of the truth would hurt less. Evan opened his mouth first. It's not what it looks like. I laughed. Not a real laugh. A cold, dry, hollow sound that barely passed for anything human. Really, because it looks like you're kissing my wife. In my kitchen. On our anniversary. She tried to step toward me, but I held up a hand. Don't. I was going to tell you, she said, voice trembling. After tonight. After tonight, I repeated. After I took you to dinner, after I gave you this, I pulled the ring box from my pocket and threw it on the counter. It bounced, landed near the cake, next to the flowers. I was going to ask you to renew our vows. Her eyes filled with tears. Evan looked like he wanted to disappear. I almost wished he would. How long? I asked again. Don't lie to me. She whispered something I almost didn't catch. 6 months. My knees nearly gave out. 6 months. That meant Christmas. That meant Valentine's Day. That meant the weekend we took a trip to her parents' cabin, the weekend I thought we reconnected. You let me believe we were okay, I said. You looked me in the eye and told me you loved me. I did, she said. I still do. No, I said. You don't get to say that. You don't love someone and lie to their face for half a year. You don't love someone and sleep with their best friend. Evan tried to speak again. I never meant to stop, I snapped. You don't get to talk. You were at my wedding. You toasted us. You held my shoulder when I broke down after the miscarriage. You called me your brother. I didn't plan it, he said. We didn't plan this. You don't trip and fall into someone's bed for 6 months, Evan. My voice was rising now. Not yelling. Just louder. Bitter. Cracked. I looked at her again. The woman I built a life with. Was it worth it? I asked. Everything we had. Everything we survived. Was it worth throwing away for him? She didn't answer. And maybe that hurt more than if she had screamed yes. I turned and walked out. I didn't take my keys. I didn't take my phone. I just walked. I don't remember how long. Hours, maybe. The sun went down, and the street lights came on. I ended up at the park near our first apartment. The one we used to go to with Sammy when he was still a puppy. I sat on a bench, staring at nothing, trying to feel something other than what was clawing at my chest. I wanted to scream. To break something. But all I could do was sit. Numb. Empty. Broken in a way I didn't know people could break. Eventually, I pulled out my phone. I had missed calls. From her. From Evan. From a few friends who had no idea what was happening. I didn't call back. I just stared at our wedding photo on my lock screen, and for the first time in 10 years. I deleted it. I didn't go home that night. I couldn't. The weight of everything was too heavy, and the silence waiting inside that house, it terrified me more than anything. So I walked. I walked past the glowing windows of strangers, past happy couples holding hands, past bars buzzing with the kind of laughter I used to know. The city felt unfamiliar. Or maybe I just felt out of place in it now. Eventually, I checked into some roadside hotel I barely remember. I handed over my ID and credit card like a robot. The clerk asked if I needed anything else, and I wanted to scream, yeah. I need my life back. But I just shook my head. The room was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that doesn't let your thoughts rest. I lay on the bed without even pulling back the covers. I stared at the ceiling like it owed me answers. I thought about how Evan used to crash at our place after late movie nights. About the way Julia used to complain he never picked up after himself. Funny, maybe that was all a cover. Maybe it was already happening then, and I just didn't see it. Or didn't want to. The next morning, the sunlight felt offensive. Like the world dared to keep moving. My phone was flooded. Missed calls. Messages. People asking, everything okay, and then one name stopped me cold. Leah. Evan's girlfriend. Or, well, ex-girlfriend, I guessed. I opened her message. It was short. Just, I know. I think we need to talk. We met that afternoon at a coffee shop that smelled like burnt espresso and rain. She looked rough. Eyes red, hair pulled back like she hadn't slept. But she still had that same sharpness. She wasn't the type to play dumb. We sat in silence for a while. And then she hit me with it, it's been going on longer than you think. I blinked. Julia told me 6 months. She shook her head. Try a year. Maybe more. My stomach dropped. A year that covered holidays. Vacations. Whole seasons of pretending. I found emails, she said, voice low. Photos. Phone records. This wasn't just a mistake. This was a life they were building in secret. I couldn't speak. I just stared at her. She stirred her coffee but never drank it. I asked Evan once if he ever thought about cheating, she added. He said, only with someone who knows me better than anyone else. I thought he was joking. I closed my eyes. That line, someone who knows me better than anyone else, that was me. That used to be me. I walked home around sunset. Slow. Head down. Everything looked different, even the trees. Like betrayal had changed the colors of the world. Sammy barked as I came through the door, tail wagging. He was the only one still happy to see me. I dropped to my knees and held him like a lifeline. The house smelled like her perfume. It lingered in the walls. On the couch. Even on the damn throw pillows. But she was gone. Her closet half empty. Her drawer cleared out. The ring box was missing from the counter. I don't know when she took it. Or why. I saw a single note on the table. Folded. Her handwriting. I'm sorry, I didn't know how to stop. I never meant to hurt you. I hope you can forgive me. That was it. No explanation. No tears. Just words on paper that felt like a slap. And I just stood there, reading it over and over like it might change on the 10th time. For the next few days, I moved like a shadow. Work, home, sleep, if you could call it that. Friends messaged, but I ignored most of them. What could I say? Hey, remember my wife and my best friend, they're together now. I caught them celebrating our anniversary. The worst part was how much I kept replaying it. Not just the kiss, but everything before. Poker nights where Evan stayed late. The way Julia started dressing up more for work. That one time she smiled at her phone and said it was just a meme. A meme that made her blush. I thought I was losing my mind. But I wasn't. I was losing my marriage. One lie at a time. Then Evan texted. Just one message. Please. I need to explain. I stared at the screen for a long time. I didn't reply. Not that day. But I knew I'd have to face him. Eventually. If not for closure, then for something else, my own peace. So I typed back, finally, tomorrow. 7 p.m. At the old basketball court. 1 hour. No lies. He replied with a single word. Okay. I stared at it. That word. That small word. It was the start of everything falling apart. And now, maybe, it would be the start of me taking it back. The court was empty. Just cracked pavement, fading lines, and the creaking sound of the chain-link fence swaying in the breeze. We used to play here every weekend when we were younger. 2-on-2 games that turned into trash talk and beer in the parking lot afterward. It used to feel like a safe place. Now it just felt haunted. Evan was already there when I arrived. Hoodie on. Hands in his pockets. Looking smaller than I remembered. We didn't speak right away. I walked past the three-point line and stood in front of him. Close enough to see the regret in his eyes. Close enough to want to punch him. But I didn't. I was tired of pain. Tired of damage. I wanted answers. Talk, I said. He nodded. Took a shaky breath. And then it began. I didn't mean for it to happen, he said. I know that doesn't matter now. But it's the truth. Start at the beginning, I told him. No shortcuts. He looked down. It started, over a year ago. That night we all had drinks at your place. You went to bed early. Julia stayed up with me. We were just talking. About nothing. And then something shifted. I don't know why. Or maybe I do. Maybe I always wondered. I clenched my jaw. That night. I remembered that night. I had a headache. Went to bed before midnight. I thought it was harmless. She told me things, he continued. Said she felt unseen. Said you were always distracted. That you weren't the man she married anymore. That hit harder than I wanted to admit. Because some part of me knew it was true. I had buried myself in work. I missed dinners. I forgot anniversaries, not all of them, but enough. I thought she understood. I thought we were in it together. I should be walked away, Evan said. But I didn't. We kissed. And then we told ourselves it was a mistake. But the next time it got easier. And then it just became a thing. I stared at him, searching for something: remorse, guilt, humanity. It was all there. But it didn't make me feel better. You were my best friend, I said. I trusted you with everything. My house. My wife. My pain. He looked like he was about to cry. I know. I hate myself for it. Do you love her? I asked. I didn't even know why. Maybe I just needed to hear how deep it went. Maybe I wanted him to say no. I don't know, he said. Sometimes it felt like I did. Sometimes it felt like we were just hiding in each other. I nodded slowly. That made sense. Affairs aren't always about love. Sometimes they're about escape. About feeling alive when life turns routine. About wanting something that isn't yours because it makes you feel powerful. So what now? I asked. You two gonna ride off into the sunset? He shook his head. We haven't spoken since that night. She's gone. Left the city. That caught me off guard. Gone yet? She texted me the same thing she probably told you. I am sorry. That's all I got. The silence between us stretched. A full minute. Maybe more. Just the wind, the distant sound of traffic, and the weight of everything unsaid. Then I asked the question I hadn't let myself say out loud. Was I really that blind? Evan looked at me, truly looked at me. You weren't blind. You just believed in her. And in me. You gave us the benefit of the doubt. That's not blindness. That's love. That stung. Because it was true. I loved too hard. Trusted too easily. And now I was standing in the wreckage. Do me a favor, I said. Don't ever come near me again. He nodded. Slowly. No defense. No begging. Just acceptance. Then he walked away. No words. No goodbye. Just footsteps fading across cracked pavement. I stayed behind. Let the cold settle into my bones. Let the night wrap around me like a funeral coat. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just breathed. For the first time in days, I let myself feel the silence. And it didn't crush me. It held me. I walked home differently that night. Slower. Straighter. The betrayal still burned, but something else had started to grow beneath it. A thread of clarity. I wasn't the man who walked in on his wife and best friend anymore. I was the man who walked out of that house and kept walking. People always say heartbreak changes you. They're right. But what they don't say is that sometimes, it clears the fog. It forces you to see who you are, what you deserve, and who you'll never be again.